This is just something I was thinking of, and it has to do with drugs. So I'm making for this discussion right now. There's growth, and then there's transformation. Transformation is changing your state, changing your being very fast. Big change in a fast period, in very fast, without a lot of work. Growth is the natural progression of consciousness, of emotions, of feelings, of your being, of your state of mind throughout your life. Throughout your life. Every day you get a little better. You get a little better every day. You do, and that's what sticks around. That's right. So, anyways, I'm going to go further into this. Drugs. Okay. I'm going to say this real quick. Drugs are transforming. But only for as long as you're high, right? You change your state of being. You change your mind so drastically in such a short period of time with only the effort that it took to ingest the substance, right? And so that's a way to transform yourself while on 3D reality, and it's not good. It's not a good thing to do, and I'll talk about why. When to transform yourself and be divine, be right, be truthful, not be in karmic debt, not create suffering, that's a spiritual thing. That's something you do after you die, when you're in the astral, the higher planes of the astral, even higher than that. You have the ability, and you vibrate at such a level, and you're so divinely connected that you can, and you're so free, and you're so powerful, and you don't have an ego, that you can transform yourself. I want to be this way. I want to be that way. I want to feel this way. It just happens very quickly up there because you don't have an ego. Having an ego is a 3D reality thing, and it is, you need to grow with your ego. Your ego needs to grow. Your ego doesn't transform. Your ego grows slowly but surely. You work it out. It's a tangible, real thing. It's real. As long as you're eating food and you need food to survive, for example, you have an ego, and your ego is real to you and is as real as anything else it's going to get. So you need to realize, I have an ego. It's very deep, and I need to grow with my ego. I need to grow with my ego slowly over time, have a clear mind, stop transforming my being and hanging out in spiritual reality without an ego, because that makes me deny the fact that I have an ego, which creates a ton of problems. Because you get to have no ego when you're on cocaine or whatever. You get to just feel happy just because. Man, I could just feel happy all the time. Meanwhile, your ego's like, bro, I am real, and you need to grow. You need to work me out. You need to work out my emotions, my thoughts, my processes, my subconscious. You need to work this out slowly over time. And every time you transform your mind temporarily, you act like I'm not real. You think you could ignore me because you get to transform yourself all the time and not actually grow in the divine sense of how you're supposed to grow with an ego, which is deep, takes time, emotions, subconscious perceptions, characteristics, all these things. If you're constantly transforming your mind, you're acting like you're in the spiritual when you're in the 3D body, and you're ignoring the fact that you have an ego, and so, but you have one. So, yeah, you feel awful when you come down. And also, for some people, it really starts to go crazy because your ego still needs some level of growth all the time just to keep it the same, or just to keep it okay. And it needs some level of reflection, some level of sober growth, sober upkeep. And if you're constantly transforming yourself and having these, like as if you're in the spiritual, you're denying the fact that you need growth, that you need upkeep for your ego. And you will go insane. You will go insane. You will feel pain. because you're neglecting your ego. You're neglecting the fact that you are in 3D reality. Growth in 3D reality, growth is slower than transformation. Transformation is a spiritual thing where you grow or change yourself very quickly. Very quickly. And if you want to get to the point where you can change yourself very quickly in physical reality, that's going to take growth. That's going to take growth. I'm telling you. I almost believe that everyone's ego has the last laugh. Your ego has the last laugh. Literally, losing your ego is giving your ego exactly what it needs until it opens like a flower. You can't just deny the ego. You can't deny the ego. It's you. It's the deepest part of you in this reality, in a sense. Because the other part of you is silence, emptiness, bliss, love. This is complexity, deep emotion. There's a difference between transformation and growth. And when you take a drug, you're transforming your state of mind. You're only supposed to transform your state of mind when you've been spiritually enlightened or in the spiritual realms where you don't have an ego. Transforming the mind while you have an ego is like ignoring a kid who needs to be fed. You can't do it all the way. You can't transform yourself all the way. When Ram Dass, he always came back down. He came back down. He came back down. He came back down.